What's up guys, it's Nathan, and today I am bringing you my first build of NBA 2K26. It is a shooting guard that is 6'5", and let's just hop right into it. We're going to go with this wingspan of 6'8". That is because I want to eventually get 93 3-pointer, and that gets it precisely. We're going to go down to either 198 or 197. I'm going to go 198 because I don't want to be super duper light. So I am actually going to show you two very slightly different builds in this video. One is one I would recommend as more of the casual season one. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get cap breakers much this year, so I want to hit all these thresholds that I can type of build. And then later on, I'm going to show you the one I made for myself with a few cap breakers in mind, and we'll break that down as we get into it. But first, I want to hit up the shooting. Now, before I get into this, most of the badge thresholds from last year have carried over. Some are slightly different, but if I bring this up, most of these you're going to recognize the same numbers if you're big into the builder like I am. So we are going to go with a 3-pointer of 87 to start, and that's actually very good. You get shifty shooter silver, limitless range bronze, deadeye silver, set shot silver, and you might be thinking, oh, these aren't that good. Well, it's a safe build. Right now, I'm just giving you the skeleton of what I have as my shooting guard build. If you want to throw a few points here or there, I'll show you ways you can do that. The easy one here is you could go up to 89 3-pointer and get that limitless range and set shot up one more badge level. Mid-range, I'm keeping there for now because you don't unlock, a new badge for it. And my philosophy is if you can shoot the 3 and you know how to take shots off the dribble, 70s mid-range is good. I don't think you need a whole lot of specific badges for midi when you already have a high 3. So there's my reasoning for that. Free throw, now I have the same free throw animation I had last year, which is Rick Barry. That one I kind of recommend because it's got a pretty easy cue. You can use it on any build at any height. And I have my free throw personally at 81. Now, I would say that's probably a good place to have that on the lower end. You might be able to get away with 75 if you know your cue really well. But for now, I'm going to put this at 80, and we might come back to this later. Next, I want to go to finishing because I really like what I did with my build. I said, I think layups might be better than dunks this year. So I put my layup up to a 90. Now, I'm going to put this one up to 85 for right now. So you get the layup Mixmaster Silver. But this is another one. As I said, we're building the skeleton. This is one you could easily put up to 90. And the reason you would want to do that is your float game would go up to gold. And your physical finisher, once we put the strength on, could go from silver to gold as well. But that is personal preference. 85 is probably good enough if you don't want to invest a whole lot into layup. Driving dunk, I think similar to last year, the good budget amount, you could go 73 for posterizer. I like to go 80. There's a few specific dunk animations that have that 80 threshold to hit. So, I mean, you can obviously go higher and start yamming on people. But I think if you want to be a dunking threat, 80's good. 80's all you need. And it raised my vertical up to 60 as well. I'm probably going to put that up to 65 just so I can get bronze posterizer, just in case I get in that specific scenario. Standing dunk, this is why we made it 6'5". This year, if you go 6'4" or shorter, you cannot get standing dunks. I understand why they changed it, but it sounds a little silly. At 40, you get the very basic, I believe it's the 2-hand regular standing dunk. You know, it might be useful in certain situations on the break and whatnot, but that's probably all you need. Post control, we're not going to touch for now, but we may come back to it later. I think it actually goes up with some other animations. So let's go to playmaking now. Ball handle. Now, if you've seen any gameplay from this year, people be moving crazy, but I decided let's just keep it the same as last year if you want to be a pretty good dribbler. 86. Get ankle assassin on silver right at 86. But you're also going to get your strong handle up along with your strength. It could go up to silver or gold. Handles for days at silver, unpluckable at silver. You actually get a lot of good animations because they made tall guards very viable this year. Now I say tall and I'm 6'5", but you can still get the wing size animations, as well as quite a few of the guard wing animations. There's very few ball handling animations in the game that require much more than 86. Coming to mind, it's Steph Curry and Trae Young at 92 again for the small guards. But tall guards, this is the vast majority of it. Speed with ball, now you could go 75 and go a little budget. I also put this up to 86 because I like having the lightning launch on gold. And then with this at gold, you have a potential to put it on a max +1 or a max +2 and put that up even more if you want to. 72. Pass accuracy, we're not skimping on this. You could go 71, but you're a guard. You should be able to pass a little better than that. So we're going to go 76. Now on my build, you're going to see later, I go 77 because I like De'Aaron Fox's pass style last year, and it's just one attribute. That's most of my reasoning for that. Now let's get into defense. As you see with the physicals, my speed is already an 86 because speed and speed with ball are directly tied this year. There's no more like you can have more speed with ball than speed. No, you put speed with ball up, speed is going to come up right along with it. So 86 speed is going to be pretty solid against the vast majority of people unless they are dribbling out their minds and they're very fast. That being said, that's going to help out a lot on defense already. With perimeter defense, I am going to put this up to an 87. 85 is an okay threshold. You get on-ball menace at silver on that point, along with your agility. I'm going to actually go up to 87 so you can get the off-ball pest on Hall of Fame. It may not be a huge difference, but at the end of the day, you're a guard. You should be able to defend the perimeter at least. Now, I'm not going to put up the interior very much. It's probably going to come up along with some other attributes. Make a guard, you got to put defense on it. Steals. Now, pluck steals are basically gone from the game, which is so good to hear. Personally, because that was so annoying with dribbling, along with dribbling being stuck in quicksand. Now, on my build that I made with cap breakers in mind, I really thought about going 60 just for the bronze interceptor. But then by the end, when I was making all the other attributes line up, I realized I had a lot more attributes I could throw in. A lot of them went into steal. 60 is still fine if you don't want to go for on-ball steals or anything of that nature. After this, I would basically just recommend, whatever you get at the next badge threshold here for interceptor specifically. 73 gets on silver. So this is the bare minimum I would recommend. Now, last year at 75 steal, there was an animation threshold that's more hidden that other creators have found you get better steal animations at. You could do this, or you could go up to 79 for the silver glove. I personally am just going to put this at 73 for now, but we will probably revisit this later on. Speed and agility. Speed, we're going to keep this here for now. Agility, we got to raise this up. To be able to defend on the perimeter in quick burst, you need quite a bit of agility this year. I am just going to go up to 80. While this also has future cap breakers in mind, 80 is also a solid spot to be in on your perimeter defense. You're going to be able to keep up decently, not super great, but decently with the attacks from the perimeter. Strength. Now, I am not an advocate of going minimum strength. I think it's important for defense specifically, also for your layups, for physical finisher. So what I would do is I would put this up 71 at minimum, right? 73 is a good spot if you have your ball handle in the mid 70s. Strong handle you get with a 73 ball handle and a 73 strength. That's super easy to get. Hall of Fame is a little harder to get, but gold is right there. And then this is where I was talking about with the layup. I went 90 layup and 75 strength to get my physical finisher up to gold. I haven't had my physical finisher gold for very long on my build because I'm still grinding it, but man, it does some work. It really does some work. So as we take a step back and look at the whole build, this is kind of the skeleton I would recommend for your shooting guard build. If you want to excel at 3-point shooting, finishing inside, good playmaking, being able to defend the perimeter all right, having decent physicals, this is kind of the skeleton I would recommend. Now, from here, you could say, oh, I want, better 3-point shot. You could say, oh, I want better badges off rip. Okay, 89.3. That's easy to get, no problem. 2 new badge levels, as it says on there. Yeah, easily doable. Flow shot 70, might as well put that up to 73 for paint prodigy. I mean, once you get the skeleton of your build going, you're kind of looking for, okay, what are some easy badges to get? Can I get another level pretty easily on another badge? Things like that. Now, if you want to go super crazy, you could put your junk up as well, at least to 87, vertical up to 75, and there you go. You have contacts now. You have the pro contacts off 2. And then if you said, well, I want to be a little bit better of a passer than that, you can go up to 82 and get your gold dimer pretty easily. So there you go. You want more steel? You're right at 75 right there. So that's fine. If you're trying to maximize your badges, you might look at something like rebounding. Every build should have some rebounding, except for maybe your guards. This is the reason I have this at the end of the build. So it's like, okay, I have extra. Where else can I put it? Rebound chaser bronze and box out beast bronze pretty easily. And then at the end here, I mean, you could put it on a couple different things. I am going to bump my free throw down by 2, raise the steal by 2. And if it's the same as last year, you're going to have an animation threshold here. Now, we don't know if that's for certain the case. So that's why I'm saying this is just a skeleton of a build I'm giving you. You can customize it all kinds of ways. Put the last 2 on offensive rebound just because. And there we go. That's a very solid season 1 build. You have prospects of cap breakers you could put into perimeter defense. You could put into 3-point shot. Because like we said at the very beginning, our wingspan lets us get a 93 3-point shot. If you look at the badges we can get Deadeye up a level, we can get Set Shot up a level, Limitless Range up a level, and Shifty Shooter up a level. And that is very good. Now the reason I am not specifying how many cap breakers is because it's still kind of a mystery. For one, I haven't unlocked my cap breakers yet. So I can't even see, which ones are going to give +1 or which ones are going to give potentially more than +1 because they have changed that this year. So yeah, that's why I just don't want to give like a whole spiel about, oh, this is the perfect build, because really we don't know what the perfect build is yet for 8 months, 10 months from now. But if you want to get on the ground running for season 1, you can't go wrong with this one. As we go in here, we get shades of Anthony Edwards, Ray Allen on the Bucks, and Dan Marley all time. The archetype is a 2-way inside-out slasher. Our top attributes are 3-pointer, our dunk, our perimeter defense. We have 4 strengths here: hits, deep shots, defenders hate, aerial finisher with authority, tough to get by on the perimeter, speed, overwhelms defenses. No big weaknesses to report. If you're trying to play a 5s or with randoms, this is what you want. You really don't want weaknesses in your build. Now, if you are playing with a squad and you have certain roles, then maybe weaknesses are okay. But if you're just trying to play a little bit of everything, every game mode, with randoms, with people all kinds of stuff, you want no weaknesses ideally. Now, this is not the only way you could make this kind of build. Like I said earlier, I went 80 driving dunk and I went 65 vertical, which is still fine. You just can't poster very much, or nearly as much. What I did, I went up to 90 layup and 75 strength. Now I adjusted a few things, but I went 90 layup and 75 strength to get physical finisher on gold. There are prospects of using a max +1 or a max +2 here to make it really go crazy, but this is closer to what I made for my build. Now I'm just going to throw the rest in like free throw or something. 89 free throw, that's pretty good. Last one in offensive rebound. So this is another way you could make this kind of build. A little bit more focused on layup. You get Rolando Blackman, Derek White, and Ray Allen on the 03 Bucks again. And your archetype with this build is the same one I got for my build, which is a 2-way 3-point sniper. I think this is a cool ass name, honestly. Your top attributes with this are layup, 3-point shot, and free throw. Again, if you want to change things off a free throw because you're playing more park, that's fine too. Strengths, glides into clean layups, drops 3s like it's nothing, tough to get by on the perimeter, and speed overwhelms defenses. No big weaknesses. Once again, this is a very solid build that has prospects of cap breakers. Now they've told us there are 28 cap breakers for the whole year. Vast majority of people are not getting 28 cap breakers because there is an obscene amount of grinding and no lifing that you have to do to get all of these. It's just insane. So I don't recommend creating a build where you need a whole lot of cap breakers. You could go that way, but just starting the game, hopping in, having fun, this is a good way to do it. Now real quickly, let me show you my shooting guard. There's a few differences here. So as you can see here, I went 90 driving layup with the 75 strength. I thought that was very important to have. And there's prospects for future cap breakers going into layup mixmaster on gold and even float game on Hall of Fame if you really want to go that way. Driving dunk I kept at 80 with the vert of 65. You see you get aerial wizard gold right at 80 this year with no other requirements. You don't need vert or nothing. That is a welcome change. Standing dunk I went 40. Post control I went 50 just because I wanted to try some of the post go-to shots. Haven't gotten around to getting those yet. Again, like I said, I'm still grinding my build, but that is potentially a way to go up on that. My 3-point I put at 88. Now you might be thinking, why would you put it at 88? You don't get a badge threshold here or nothing. Well, that's because I had cap breakers on the mind. Even if it's not exactly like last year, I went 5 less than the 93. So I'm thinking I will need 5 cap breakers. It might be 4 or 3, but I'm guessing it'll be 5. So my future cap breakers will go there. Apparently the first cap breakers are pretty easy to get. So my first one's probably going to go right into 3-point for the limitless range and the set shot 1 level higher. Free throw I ended up at 81 and mid-range came up with the 3-pointer to land at a 78. Pass accuracy, like I said earlier, I liked the De'Aaron Fox pass style last year and I wanted it again this year, so I went 77. 1 above the Versatile Visionary silver threshold. Speed of the ball I went 86. Like I said, lightning launch gold. I really wanted that. Ball handle, similar to 3-point shot, I left at 88. Not at a badge threshold, but with cap breakers on the mind. See, originally I was thinking, oh, I could put it at 87, go up +5 for 92, get that gold unpluckable. There we go. But then I see an ankle assassin is only 1 higher. So I'm like, okay, let's try ankle assassin gold on this 6.5. Eventually, Rome wasn't built in one day. So that's another 5 cap breakers I had definitely thought about. Going to defense, it's very similar to what we had on the other build. 50 interior because it's brought up with strength, 87 perimeter with a potential of 5 more cap breakers. We get gold challenger at 92, on ball menace at 91, and pick dodger gold at 90. Again, 87 you can do work with. But 92, man, I tried it last year. It was night and day to an extent last year. I don't know how defense is going to work this year because everyone's still grinding their badges and getting their attributes up. But I thought this could be a good idea. I went with 79 steel, and like I said, I was going to go way lower, but I had a lot of attributes left over, so I was like, why not? Let's go 79 steel. For the silver glove and silver interceptor, block came up with the perimeter. Rebounding, I ended again. You get a lot of attributes this year. Like, you can make builds kind of OP, especially with cap breakers in mind. So I went to hit 60 offensive rebound. It ended up being 61 because that's the only place I could put one more. So there we go. Speed came up with speed with ball at 86. Agility, we put up at 80 with the perimeter defense cap breakers in mind. With on-ball menace and pick dodger, you need 80 and 79 agility respectively for those badges. Strength, I went to 75. Again, I was thinking 73 would be all right for the strong handle, but just 2 more, not gonna break the bank for my build. With the 90 layup, we get gold physical finisher. Lastly, that 65 vertical ties in with the driving dunk. This isn't the flashiest build, but it is gonna get work done. And by the end of it, we get shades of Rolando Blackman, Jimmy Butler on the 17 Bulls, which I thought was very interesting, and Derek White, with the archetype of the 2-way 3-point sniper. Our top attributes were driving layup, 3-point shot, and ball handle. Strengths were a lot of them we had before. Glides into clean layups, freezes defenders in tracks, hits deep shots defenders hate, and a true lockdown perimeter defender, which I thought was kind of silly because I wouldn't say this is a lock build unless you're good on the sticks. But yeah, this is my all-around 6'5" shooting guard to start 2K26. As we go back here to look at it, once again, I'm thinking about cap breakers. I'm thinking of +5 here on 3-point shot, +5 here on ball handle, +5 here on perimeter defense, and no more than that. If we get more, we can throw it into something like layup, but again, I'm not trying to plan that far into the future. I think I can get half of them that are available in the game. I don't think that's too unrealistic for the amount I play the game, but again, your situation may be different. You might want to just stick to 86 ball handle because going higher than this is silly, you might think, and that's totally valid. You might put into, your driving don't get that rate, but that's why I had a bit of a skeleton of what I was thinking for my build early on, so you can add on to it, have a good idea of where to start. And all in all, this is the first couple days. No one knows what's going to be meta or what have you, but this is solid all-around build that can do a few things that shooting guards in my mind can do very well. So yeah, that is going to be it for me, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Comment down below what kind of builds you want me to make, because I've dived a little bit into the builder, but I know some people have made some crazy build names on here and I want to see what I can do with that. Apparently there's like 4,000 build names this year. There's a lot to explore, man. So if there's a certain player you want me to try to replicate in the builder, y'all let me know down in the comments. But yeah, that is going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. I will see y'all next time. Peace.